holidays. Welcome to Baseless Claims, our
No, not
Christmas.
happy holidays. We're saying Christmas, okay? None of that lib shit on this podcast.
I was getting to it.
No, we're not saying happy holidays, though. We're saying Christmas.
I start with happy holidays. Hello, and welcome on back to Baseless Claims, our casual conversational comedy podcast. My name is Tay, Holly Jolly.
My name is Tori, studio executive Thompson.
Ooh.
My name is Tyler Tim Allen Matheson, because we are changing Santa Claus. Look, Santa's been the same for too goddamn long. So I say we pull a Tim Allen and we kill that dude.
Oh.
I thought you were going to say we start getting very racist, but...
That too.
I guess
that can be accomplished like in tandem.
Well, here's my question though, is like, so obviously you're referring to Tim Allen's great hit film, The Santa Claus, where Santa dies on his rooftop and he becomes Santa, which is crazy lore, by the way.
Yeah.
But
he killed Santa.
Well, that's the thing. Did he kill Santa, or was it more of like a stand your ground, or perhaps like like a manslaughter charge rather than
killed
like
him.
intent?
But I'm saying that it's okay that he got away with it. I'm saying he did kill him.
Yeah.
But it's okay that he got away with it.
Yeah, because his eternal punishment is now being the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
So what's the larger point?
The larger point here being we got to change Santa. Like, if you're Santa, like, you inherit the title of Santa Claus. Mm-hmm. What are you...
Santa Claus Schwab, thank you.
What are you changing the second you step into that position? So you're Christmas morning, you're running down the stairs, and you're like, oh my God, Santa was here last night. And then all of a sudden you hear Santa like, I was just hit, I was just... And then he falls off your roof, and he like impales himself on the fence or something, right? Something really graphic, really brutal, really gory. Santa's dead. You now inherit that title. You step into the job day one. It's like you're the Amazon CEO. What are you changing about being the Santa Claus? My number one thing, harsher punishments. I feel like Cole has been a threat for way too long. No one's
also
cashing that in.
Limited resource. No, we're not talking about that he's giving away precious limited resource. That's something we could use probably better.
Honestly, rather be burning that than giving that away to kids.
Like crafty, smart kids are just going to go like, sick. Now I have a way to heat my home for a little bit longer. Thanks, idiot. I didn't get punished at all.
Exactly. We are looking for, like, Santa, like, cracks the fucking, like, ruler over the knuckles of, like, these kids. Like, while they're, like, sleeping, he's just, like...
Wasn't one of the things Krampus would do, like hang children by their toes over a bridge or something? Am I remembering that correctly, or am I just talking out of my ass?
Look, I've only seen the Adam Scott film, and that didn't give me a whole lot of lore.
Like,
or a good experience.
Legitimate Krampus shit is actually, like, extremely spooky.
I'm thinking,
I'll never look into that, so...
We need, like, the Krampus is like some goat thing, but I'm not talking we need to recruit his ass. I'm talking you're Santa Claus. My thing, I'm dishing out harsher punishments. Like, the kids are not opening coal. Yeah. They're opening, like, oh, cool, I got a pack of gum from Santa. It's one of those zappy gums. And they're like, fuck! But it's like, it's way stronger. I'm talking like way stronger.
Or it's like one of the ones with a fake spider, but you've replaced it with a real brown recluse.
Yeah, like something, I'm not trying to kill them. I'm just trying to say, like, hey, next year, like, nice list and ensure it happens, because you do not want this shit to happen again.
A brown recluse wouldn't kill you if you move fast enough to the hospital.
I have a punishment that is it's kind of embarrassing for me, but like, what if they're naughty the next year for the next 365 days until the Christmas returns again, they are a ginger now.
Ooh.
That's a rough thing to be as a kid.
Yeah, that one's really tough.
Yeah.
That's like borderline unhumane, though.
Yeah. But here's the thing, is it could really like kind of like, it could end up being a benefit for them, and it would like really like solidify them, you know, like then they would become...
In what way? I'd love to know.
You know, like then they would be like, oh, I can actually deal with like people calling names and everything. It might be a benefit for them to actually like have something dished out at them, you know? Like it could build them into a better person.
Yeah, it's a character builder.
Yeah, character builder. That's a good way of putting it.
So like, I'm talking like, like they get, like I was literally thinking like it's on the coldest day. You put them outside barefoot for like 10 minutes.
Okay.
And like,
so you're talking like literal lasting damage kind of punishment.
Yeah.
oh, no. I just underneath that like 12 to 15 minute threshold for frostbite,
Okay.
I get him in right back in, right on that. So
But
like,
they'll know pain.
yes, they will know. Their big toe might be not fully numb, but just a little bit numb for the rest of their life, you know?
Okay.
Like something that's like,
enough to remember.
yeah, exactly. Then they're like, fuck, nice list for sure.
You know what I would do as Santa Claus?
What?
I would introduce a buffet of recreational drugs for the elves that they can just have at will.
That's pretty
Because
good.
I think it'd be pretty funny to watch those little guys just going nuts on a line of coke, you know?
See, I think you only have to have uppers though, because if you have like heroin on that table, then your productivity
You're cutting into your bottom line there
yeah,
for sure.
but if you have a table full of fucking amphetamines, dude, you're going crazy with.
But
production.
I feel like, yeah, okay, yeah, you know what? That's a good rule.
only uppers.
because at the end of the day, you still have to get the job done. And if they're not being productive, unless your Santa is like, you know what, fuck it. Kids get 30% less gifts now. Unless that's your kind
or
of
I
thing.
just bring in a new crew. Like maybe the elves are just like my homies, and I just bring in a new crew of that's what happens to the naughty kids. They have to build all of the toys for the good kids.
They're
next
the
year.
elves next year.
Yeah, and then me and the elves are just going on a 365. Oh, I guess I need 1 day of sobriety. So 364 days of wild, crazy shit with the boys. Because I'm pretty sure there's only boy elves. Is that fact check me on that?
How do they
right?
reproduce? How do they reproduce?
Through butt sex.
Do they even, or is it the same group? I imagine it's the same group of elves. I imagine it's just like,
They're
if it's
immortal,
Kris
I
Kringle,
think.
yeah, if Kris Kringle is immortal, I'd imagine it's just the same group.
Well,
Yeah.
is Kris Kringle an elf, or was Kris Kringle
No.
gifted his
Is he the king of
position?
the elves? Is that how that
Maybe.
works?
See, there's
Well,
so many
look-
different,
look.
like, conflicting lore stuff with Santa.
Let's
Like-
just pick the coolest one, and let's just say he was the strongest. He was born the tallest and strongest elf, and they made them their king.
Okay.
They were like,
But
this guy
then-
is our king.
But then again, also, your whole premise was that guy died.
Yeah.
and
Wait,
now
hold on. There's
we're that
only
guy.
X amount of elves, right? And so
Sure.
maybe, well, there's not like we're not finding lost Amazonian civilizations of elves. You know what I mean? So
Maybe you're not.
maybe-
I am, but maybe I just live a more fulfilling life than you.
Santa Claus might have Genghis Khan'd his way through the elf nation, and then the ones that he captured have to worship him like a god, and it's become sort of a dictator type.
There used to be different elven tribes, and
Yeah,
he
and
kind
then-
of
Yeah.
put them under one flag.
Yeah, and he killed a not insignificant portion of their culture and people.
He's very lucky to have found, like, Oompa Loompa elves and not, like, Legolas elves. You know what I mean?
That would be a little bit different, wouldn't it?
Uh-huh.
I think we'd all feel a little bit more sympathy if the elves building our toys were fucking hot. If they looked like Orlando
yeah.
Bloom, we'd be like, well, get them out of there. They deserve to be out here with us, not in there making toys.
Although all of our stockings would then be hung by the fireplace with, like, an arrow sticking out of the hearth, and then the stocking hanging from the arrow, which would be kind of sick.
It'd be kind of sick, but I'd rather any day of the week have more hot people in the world than an arrow in the hearth, you know? Like, if more people looked like Orlando Bloom walking around, like, that's a way better world to live in.
True. A bit at the top of a slippery slope for eugenics.
Not really. We got
but-
some uggos out there. We got a lot of uggos out there. I'm just letting everyone know. We got a lot of uggos out there, and I think we need some more Orlando Blooms.
We're not saying to get rid of the uggos, but we are saying if the opportunity for more hottos presents itself, we're going to jump on it.
I'm gonna jump on it. I'm not gonna I'm not saying we're doing anything with the uggos like Tori said. I'm just saying, like, if there's a fucking contract from Kris Kringle presented, like, oh, the elves live in the normal world now, ho ho ho, and it's like, I'm not turning down that contract.
We think of elves in the Santa way as being like, I guess they're usually portrayed as like, oh, they're kids in their cute little costumes and they love singing and making toys together. I guess outside of elf, but they could just be a bunch of little fucking Igors in there slaving away that are just like gross as hell. They look like Grendel from Beowulf.
Yeah, they could look
they're-
like the Lord of the Ring orcs.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, like, because if they're the only race of elves on the planet, then they have to be inbreeding, right?
Yeah.
They have like big hunchbacks and shit, and they're just like, more toys for Santa, more toys for Santa. Then it's like, keep them in the factory. I'd also like to change like the factory kind of situation with Santa. If I was Santa Claus,
Oh, no.
I'm putting a harsh limit on like Santa doesn't do electronics anymore. Santa's not
Yeah.
making you a PS5.
Yes,
That's cutting
thank
into
you.
my bottom line. Like,
Yeah, for
I have to
real.
train the elves to fucking wire like all of that shit together. No. Santa does mechanical toys only, okay? So like Nerf guns, they're still in. Consoles, not a fucking shot.
Why don't we just bring it back to like, oh, you were good this year? What do you get? It's a block.
It's a chocolate orange.
Oh,
Yo, those go fucking
visceral
crazy,
memory
though.
unlocked. No,
Those
they are
go
disgusting.
So crazy. No, you're just wrong. You're just wrong.
Orange and chocolate are a terrible combination, and I will not hear
Shut
any
your
other way
fucking
around that.
mouth, you fucking child. It is a delectable flavor pairing, and you are just wrong.
I think we should have more marshmallow shooters as gifts instead of like, I want like a Bop It, you know? Like something.
Yeah, the hot, 2023 hot toy, the Bop It.
I'm showing my age there a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Where I'm just like, oh, what do kids like these days? Fucking
Oh,
Bop It.
What did you ask? Hey, Timmy, what'd you ask for? A Bop It or a Simon Says?
I got a Slinky. Yeah.
I got a wrist rocket.
I honestly think maybe Santa should be delivering more projectile-based
Sure.
weapons.
Yeah.
Like,
Get him early, yeah.
it could be like, well, then it introduces the concept of sharing and collaboration to children because kids are like, they're inside, they're on their phones these days. They're not speaking with other real people. So you give Timmy a catapult, you give Tommy like,
A trebuchet.
yeah, you give Tommy a trebuchet. You give like Clyde 2 doors down. You give him like 40 like AKs. Like all of a sudden they're building an army together and they're collaborating. You know, they're sharing their weapons of war together to lay
Sure.
siege on the next town over.
I do have to ask if you legitimately consider how many AKs did you say?
40.
Okay. Do you think 40 AK-47s are on the same like damage capability as a fucking trebuchet?
Wars ain't even, Tay.
Fair. That's another lesson we're teaching them.
They get different supplies. They have to collaborate and they have to like start
right.
sharing things.
Everyone's going to be scared of Jasmine, who got the F-18s, all right? Equipped with Hellfire missiles.
Holy shit. Johnny got an F-22.
If everyone bands together and then they decide that they are going to guerrilla warfare Jasmine and her F-18s, ba-boom. They might have a chance of success at, I don't even know what they're trying to win. Maybe the school fundraiser. They just want the big grand prize at the end of the school fundraiser.
I have a memory of a Christmas time where I got my Game Boy Advance SP and I was playing that like all happy and whatever. And I saw one of my neighbor kids like outside on the street with their new bike that they just got for Christmas. And I'm just imagining that scenario, but with like an M1 Abrams tank.
Yeah, 100%. Because also, here's the thing: is like, I don't think Tyler. I don't think you stated that it was an all-in proposition. So it's not that every good child is getting some type of weapon of war. There's going to be one kid who's got like an armored Humvee that's got a gun on the top of it, and then the kid next door got like the new Harry Styles CD.
Oh, but how about this, right? It scales with your economic class. So if you're in like poverty ranges, you get the M1 Abrams. But if you're rich as shit, you get like, I don't know, a Nerf gun.
You know it ain't going that way though.
No.
I wish
We're
it
not.
would.
We're doing
The
it based
exact
on how
inverse.
nice they are. It's all built on.
Oh,
We're going back
okay.
to an actual niceness scale.
Got it. I was trying to fix the class disparity in America, but
That's
whatever.
clear, but I'm sorry. It just ain't how that ain't the hand we were dealt.
That's just also just not good. That won't do anything. All you're going to do is, congratulations, you gave someone an F-18, and it's like, well, that won't bring him out of poverty. That ain't going to do anything.
Sure it would. What do you mean?
We're sliding on the scale of nicety here, where if you're Santa Claus, I'm building this on the niceness scale. I'm building it like, oh, you were really, really nice. You get the cool top secret Top Gun jet.
Does Mrs. Claus also regenerate like Santa? So like if I were to get, if someone were to kill Mrs. Claus while I'm Santa, do they become Mrs. Claus?
Ooh, are you trying to set up an elaborate like thing where
legally no.
Yeah, legally no, but like
for all intents and purposes, hypothetically speaking,
hypothetically
allegedly, if I were to want someone to kill Mrs. Claus,
so that your new wife would be Ana de Armas.
Oh no, yeah, that's literally what I was gonna say. Is like I'm gonna take Mrs. Claus on a vacay. We're going to Hollywood, and oops, she fell in front of a really nice car. Who is it? Anna, get out here. What are you doing? Yes, I will. Forever till death do us part.
Now that's a fun concept for the next Tim Allen Santa Claus movie.
It's not going to be in his hands. It's not going to be fun.
It's like a reverse whodunit.
Yeah. It's going to be a why done it.
Here's the thing is that Mrs. Claus, she's lived through the last 5 Santa regenerations. She is not an easy broad to get rid of.
No. Well, here's the thing. Maybe no one wants to get rid of her because maybe she do got that good
Maybe she fucking goes crazy in the bedroom. Yeah.
But maybe she is also a very like sturdy Eastern European woman that was born in 1684. And like she has just been living forever, and she knows all of the tricks you're gonna try.
Yeah,
she will kill you before.
So much fucking better than you could. She's gonna kill you 10 times better.
Yeah, she ain't no spry young chicken. She's been around the block, and she has killed at least 3 Kris Kringles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so don't even fucking try it.
Look. We have this unofficial tradition on this show that somehow has happened every year where we basically write a Christmas movie. And I figured, why not just make it, an official segment this year? So I think it's time for a brand new Christmas edition of Spin Me a Tale. Now, for listeners who don't know, that's the improv game where I'm going to play as a studio executive. And I want my 2 young filmmakers here to work together on this one and collaborate to come up with a movie script based on 3 randomly spinning wheels that are going to give us a genre, a title, and an event or thing that must take place in the movie at some point.
Like I know it's literally an improv game, but we've never defined it as such until this moment in time, or at least that's what I'm recalling. So now I just feel like I'm up on a stage of a community theater going like, all right, give us an article of clothing.
Yeah.
We're like waiting for a response from the audience.
Yeah.
You suck!
So
what's the bit? It's like one of the only funny bits in Ted where they're just like, let's go to the improv club and shout sad suggestions. Like, that's a good bit. Like, give us a time, 9/11.
Are you done quoting Ted? Can I get to my thing?
Jesus, I'm trying to do a show, dude. Fuck.
I'm trying to do one too.
Tay, Tori's trying to do the show.
You know how I prepared a bunch of stuff for the last 2 days? That's what I was doing. You were quoting a movie that you don't even like. After I told you I was doing a segment.
What can I say?
I can't believe you said, Tori, I'm doing a show here. I can't
That's
believe
the most
you said
wild
that.
shit.
Listen.
I'm doing a show.
Oh, could I listen some more? Can I please listen some more to you? Jesus Christ. Get out of my office. I don't want you guys. I'm going to get someone else to direct this flick.
I'm really sorry.
Okay, are you guys ready to find out so it's going to be a Christmas movie, but there's obviously going to be subgenres.
There's different
of the Christmas
subtypes of Christmas movies.
movie. Yeah, exactly.
You know, there's your war Christmas movies where all the soldiers in the trenches are extremely sad. I hope we get that
well,
one.
except no, hey, what about the time when they sang together? Don't forget about that. Okay, so your subgenre is going to be
Sad soldiers, sad soldiers, sad soldiers.
it's an animated family movie.
Ooh, that's a good one too, though. There's a lot of room to play with there.
Tyler's like, I don't think there's enough room for me. I don't like this. So let's find out the name of the animated family film you're going to be making here. Some of these really go with animated family, and some of them really don't.
The trenches at wartime. The trenches at wartime.
Couldn't be more perfect. The title of this flick is going to be Ho Ho, Oh No.
Damn, fuck. Ah, that's a good title.
Damn, that's like that title plus animated family film is definitely something you'd find in like the 99-cent bin at Walmart.
That's straight to DVD.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and then for the final prompt here, we're going to come up with an event or a character or something, some type of thing that must be included in the film, and that is going to be your character must have a Christmassy catchphrase, i.e., hell yeah, jingle all the way, baby.
Okay.
Well, that's
Okay.
the thing, right? We already have it. It's ho ho oh no.
Fuck. Shit. Do we have to do another one?
No, we've got to. They've got to have a different Christmas catchphrase.
But imagine it. We drop the ho ho oh no at like the pivotal point of the scene or the pivotal point of the movie.
I'll invoke my first studio note. The catchphrase can't be ho ho oh no, as that is
Okay.
the title of the flick.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay. So
We need to have a separate one for selling merch to these stupid little kids.
okay, so I think we got to establish the catchphrase first to
Right, but just
to,
so-
for where it goes.
Build the plot around that.
We got to
Good
build
idea.
a plot around the catchphrase.
Good
because
idea.
we're trying to
It's-
market the fuck out of this.
This is your save the cat moment. You got to get the audience in right away.
Yeah, we're making like the little like you know how in the Last Jedi they just kind of like built the movie around those cute little like porg thingies. This is that. We're just trying to sell toys here. So I think our animated family, because again we didn't really get soldiers in the trenches. I'd really like this to lean sad, you know, like a feel-good holiday movie that starts with a sad family. I think a lot of families can relate to. The economy is pretty bad right now. Inflation, you know, make a relatable story about a family overcoming these incredible odds.
And it lends itself to the hero's journey archetype of story really well too, because you're already starting at like a place where they need to move up.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think mom's probably got cancer. I think mom's probably got cancer for sure.
Okay.
Medical bills are piling up.
Studio note. She has AIDS.
Okay.
Mom's-
Wait.
Mom's got
Mom's
Okay.
got full blown AIDS this December 25th, gang.
Okay, so
Wow.
mom just didn't get PrEP soon enough. So mom is dying of AIDS, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Okay, so
Wait. What?
Well, it doesn't have to end that way.
okay, people aren't gonna be super into a religious story in this day and age.
Of course
They're
not.
just not going to. So our animated family is multiracial, multi-religion, and multi-sexual orientation.
Studio
the
note can't be woke. I'm just
Fuck.
kidding.
Ooh.
This
I'm
is
kidding, I'm kidding.
perfect. I love this
I'm
movie
kidding.
now.
I'm kidding.
Okay,
They're
so
a straight white Christian
It's just a joke.
family.
Look, hey, I know that I have power over you guys right now, and I know that you really want my money to fund and funding for this movie. But like, hey, I like to joke around. We like to have a good time. You can
Yeah,
have
of
all the gays and all the different colors of people that you'd like in there.
okay, so like
It somehow feels worse.
Yeah.
that's how they make movies. They're like, fuck it, put a gay person in there, and then we'll get like 20,000 more like
I
viewers.
just hate the implication of like, yeah, you're allowed to have that. You know, like that has a specific stank to it.
It sure does.
Welcome to Hollywood.
I don't want to blow your mind, Tay, but I've got some stories. And you're not going to like them.
Ho ho. Oh no.
So dad is Jewish, mom has AIDS. The kids go with their grandma. Grandma's Catholic, so we got grandma above. Grandma's Catholic, and grandma does not like dad for being Jewish. But
can I make a request?
yeah.
Can we title the episode Dad is Jewish, Mom has AIDS?
I like how Tyler's building a story and Tay's like, hold on. I had another thought, gang. There's a part in Ted 2 where he does do this thing.
All right. So I think the perfect number of like children to have in a Christmas movie is probably like 3 from the same family. Mm-hmm. Like 3 kids, same family. So the youngest I think is little Timmy Tommy. Timmy Tommy.
Studio note, that sucks. Come up with a better name.
Okay, can I ask this studio executive a question?
Yeah.
Do we want a classic name? Are we going in the past or are we going modern day for like names?
It's your world, just not Timmy Tommy.
Okay.
There's no era where Timmy Tommy was a hot commodity.
Okay. I'm crossing it out right now. We're going modern, and we're spelling this in the most wild spelling you can imagine. Little Aiden Braden.
Yes.
Ooh,
So
I like that.
Little Aiden Braden is and there is an L somewhere in Aiden and Braden, and I'm not telling you where it is.
I love that. I love a little mystery.
So we have little Aiden Braden, who's our youngest sweet baby boy, who is who's got 4 toes on his right foot.
Okay.
Sure. What's the age of this Watson? All right, I want to know what range we're talking.
Little Aiden Braden is 6. Little Aiden Braden is 6 years old.
I was gonna say 8 because it gives us a little bit more cognitive awareness to work with.
Well, he doesn't understand why mom's AIDS is so bad.
Ah, okay. And why he thinks that it's acceptable to wish for his mom's AIDS to go away for Christmas.
Yeah, like he doesn't understand that Santa can't really pull that. Like Santa doesn't have a lot of pull in that department. Like, I can make your mother a shiny new toy horse that she can rock back and forth on. I can't make the AIDS go away though. Ho, ho, ho. Sorry about that, little Aiden Braden.
So for the other siblings, are we moving on to the other siblings?
One's adopted. The oldest one is from both parents. The dad, who is again Jewish, and the mom who has AIDS.
I was gonna say that they're all biologically related, and the eldest would be the archetype. I know, but like the eldest would be the archetype of like, I'm wise and old, and I've got good things to say, and then the middle child's just a bastard.
Yeah, we can have a comically evil middle child.
We have,
but the middle child is adopted.
I also think that the way that kids act based on their where they are in the order of siblings is a matter of how they're raised, I think, and not necessarily being biologically
right. But we're
being biologically 12.
Right, but we're constructing a fucking movie plot here. I'm not saying like this is based in reality or anything.
Because the middle sibling is evil. Is comically evil and adopted because the B plot is trying to figure out who their birth parents are for Christmas. That's what they want for Christmas.
I like that.
They want to find who their birth parents are for Christmas.
That's an obtainable goal? Question mark.
So
Yes. Yes, it is.
Our oldest child is oldest girl named
Haley Bailey, spelled absolutely fucking out of this world with like GHs and shit.
Haley Bailey.
I love this naming convention we're going with. It's truly the worst.
So we've got Haley Bailey, Aiden Braden,
and then Miguel.
Miguel
is Miguel, and Miguel is 12. Haley Bailey is 14.
Wait, do you think they anglicized his name so it's like Meighgel?
course. Why wouldn't they?
I don't know if that's anglicizing as much as it is just like, welcome to the middle class, Miguel.
I don't even think it's anglicizing. Like it's like Nevea-ing your child, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's heaven backwards. Cool.
Cool. Go.
Sorry to all the Neveas out there. I'm sorry your parents hated you. So we've got Haley Bailey, Miguel, and little Aiden Braden, and you do have to say little Aiden Braden.
Yes, little is
every
part
time
of
you
it.
say
Because like if all of the classic Christmas movies have told me anything, there's like a tiny Tim or a little John or whatever shit like that, right?
Mm-hmm. And he was the accident, which is, you know, why he has 4 toes. Like
Right.
Mom was well out of like prime fertility range when she gave birth to little Aiden Braden. And that's why his toes don't work. Now, our setup here is the grandma is Catholic and she's upset because dad lost his job. And she's like, I never liked him. And not because he's Jewish. And she looks at the camera and she's like, that's not it. I'm not racist.
I swear to God.
But I just always thought he was no good for you. And Mom's like, with my AIDS, I just don't know how we're going to afford the mortgage and all of my medical bills. And while they're having this moment, there are Christmas carolers that were going around, and this Santa is like doing this Christmas caroler, and like the family's in like a big fight, and there's like a knock on the door, and they're like, and they open the door, and they're all like yelling at each other, and the carolers are like, ho ho, oh no, we better leave. And then, that's the title. I like that.
Oh, that sucks shit though, actually.
And then
I'd love
there's a
to hear
big
your suggestions.
pull out shot. Yeah, Tay, you haven't contributed to this pitch yet.
Sure, I have. I did Haley Bailey.
Sorry.
No, I think it'd be good if all of this cacophony was happening in the house and they were expecting like a pizza to show up or whatever. And the pizza was like 30 minutes late, so they're already stressed about that too.
Well, then
And
it's
they're just
free.
having
If
this-
it's 30 minutes late, it's free if you order from Domino's. Like the dad and mom are like itching to like, hey, 30, there was 31. We're trying to
No, but
afford the
there's-
mortgage.
There's like a cacophony, everyone's stressed and pissed, and the dad's like, fucking finally, the meal is here. And just angrily stomps to the door, opens it up, and there are the carolers singing their pretty happy song. And it sets a spark of light in this man to maybe have a bit of a better Christmas.
What religion is Miguel?
No.
Miguel is not Catholic like the grandma, or mom is secular. Mom comes from the secular world.
What's the thing that like really annoying?
Because then Miguel can be like,
people do.
in my home when I lived in, because they have to know where Miguel is from. Because Miguel's trying to find his parents. So like Miguel can be like, in my home of blank, we did
Sure.
this for Christmas.
What if he's Buddhist?
I don't hate that.
Because obviously Miguel is Japanese.
I love that.
Oh, that's really good.
I love
Ooh,
Miguel
that's
being
super
Buddhist
good.
because like while the family is arguing, he's like, boom, like a sound bath thing. He's like got crystals.
Yeah, like a little singing bowl.
Oh, peace, everyone. In my home of Japan, what happens on Christmas is peace and love. And I must go and find my real birth parents, who were, what happened to Miguel's parents? I want to say Godzilla, but that seems a little racist.
I
of
want to
me.
say that
That's
they
a
were
little
on
racist.
Malaysian flight
They
370.
were on there? Yes!
Oh, no!
This is why you're the executive. This is why you make the big bucks.
That's why I make the money, baby.
Holy moly.
All right. Malaysian. Also, I don't think it's racist to say that Godzilla killed their parents because where else does Godzilla attack if not Japan? Like,
San Francisco in that
that was
one
a
movie?
shitty one and we all know it.
We ignored that one.
Okay, so Miguel's parents were lost on the Malaysian flight, and that's what prompts this, like, when the carolers come out and everyone's fighting.
Wait. We
Wait,
can't
that
have his
prompted
parents.
it?
We can't have his parents lost on Malaysian flight 370 because I thought the whole point of having Miguel as a character was to find his parents.
He's gonna find the flight. He's gonna find the missing flight. and his parents.
This movie's gonna have a lot of loose ends tied up at the end. All right.
Damn, okay. I didn't know if you wanted to solve that mystery, but all right.
Okay. Here's what happened. Malaysian Flight 370, Miguel found out that it didn't actually crash into the ocean. It actually entered. It was. Okay, hold on. I got to do a quick Google search here.
Homie's about
When
to brain blast.
was Malaysian Flight 370? It was on. Okay, so what happened is they entered this kind of space vortex where Santa's sleigh was crossing the ocean at the exact same time as Malaysian Flight 370. So it got pulled into Santa's magical portal that brought the flight to the North Pole. It did crash, but it crashed in the North Pole because Santa's sleigh was going across the ocean at the exact same time.
What?
Ho, ho, oh no,
Why,
we're
though?
stuck in the North Pole.
That's fucking.
But hold on.
They
why
were on a
was
flight. They were
Santa's-
never at home. They were all on Malaysian Flight 370. And now everyone is
already
stuck.
the best movie of the year.
But why was Santa's sleigh flying over the Indian Ocean at that time?
He was drunk.
Hey,
Was he just
yes,
doing it?
and you're writing this movie with Tyler. Stop poking holes in it, Jesus.
So
I'm just trying to make it consistent.
no one likes dorks who are like, actually Godzilla's powers wouldn't be that strong. So, okay, scrap everything about them being home and being like with the Christmas carolers. Scrap all of that bullshit. The family was going through a rough time prior to the flight. Like they were like, oh my God, we just had the worst Christmas ever because grandma, who's Catholic, died on Christmas. Christmas Day, grandma died. The family, they're so upset. Grandma was she was like Irish Catholic or something. So they had to go to wherever grandma was born. They had to take a connecting flight across the Indian Ocean, Malaysian Flight 370 to get there. There was a whole mix-up at the airport. It was like a funny moment where like the bags go and like they do the Toy Story 2 thing where like, oh, the bags are like in this like crazy like mix-up thing because it's animated. We can have a lot of fun with this, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Like the family's like going down like slides and everything and like the airport like connecting terminals and everything. Whoa! And they end up, comedy of errors, on Malaysian Flight 370.
Yeah.
Of course.
We, the audience, are privy to what's about to
biggest-
happen.
The biggest error of them all.
Yeah, we, the audience, are privy to what's about to happen because, like, at the end we hear, like, this is your captain speaking. Welcome to Malaysia Flight 370. And, oh no, because they're trying to bring Grandma. Grandma loved Christmas, so they're trying to bring Christmas to Grandma's home one last time.
Love that.
And then that's why they have to understand the magic of Christmas is to get back to Ireland where Grandma's from. Like,
But
they have to
let's- okay.
fully accept Christmas.
I love everything that's happening right now. This is great. One of the best pitches I've heard in a long time. I do want to know what's going to happen in sort of the body, the meat of this. Because there's a whole gaggle of unaccompanied minors running slapstick through the airport. Oopsie doopsie whoopsie poopsie. We ended up on Malaysian Flight 370.
Yep.
Catholic grandma's dead. We know that they need to find the spirit of Christmas and all come together. But what's happening in the meat of this thing? You know, what's the rising action?
Yeah, so what happens is like that's our like this is our setup. They end up on Malaysia Flight 370. Santa's sleigh crosses the Indian Ocean at the exact same time as the flight. It connects, like Santa fucking driving drunk connects to it. And then they get sucked into the portal going to the North Pole, but then the plane like crashes. It's not like gruesome. There's no like deaths or anything. This is just like a nice little like skid, you know, like they
Yeah, because
went
it's a bunch of powdery snow, right? Like it's gonna cushion the aircraft.
and so they're out in the wilderness of the North Pole and everyone, you know, the elves find them and everything. And they're like, "Oh, like we don't have like Santa's actually like gone. Like we don't have a way to communicate with him right now. Like because that was his vacation flight path."
He went. Okay, so I need to understand this, I suppose. Are we saying that Santa's North Pole and the Earth are sort of parallel universes?
Yes.
Where you have to go through like a rip in space time to kind of go betwixt the two.
Yes.
I like that. And did we say it was in? Did we say it was in the Bermuda Triangle where that rip is, or?
It's just Santa's sleigh. Like Santa was making a portal going across the Indian Ocean, and they happened to go through it at the same time. But Santa's on vacation because it's March when the flight went missing. So
right. He was on a drunken joyride of the sleigh, which is where this collision happened.
And he's not going to be back till fucking December 1st. Like his ass is lazy. So they're like, the kids and the family are like in the factory, and they have to like, well, I guess since you're here, like, you know, you can help out with like making Christmas joy for other people. So they're like building the toys through the year, and they're like learning from the elves, and like, but we have our little Aiden Braden. He wants to go home, and the oldest Haley Bailey is like, no, we have to stay here until December 25th.
Studio note, B plot. There's one of the kids of the three who feels really like left out and misunderstood all the time. Perhaps the youngest one.
I would say the middle child.
He has to have a bit. That's Miguel, and he's already got a plot.
Fair.
It's got to be. He finds that one of the elves also feel misunderstood, or there's one of the elves or something that feels like they just can't build toys as well as the others or something like that. He's got to have a fun little B plot where he goes out and they have their own little like, oh, we both gained confidence. We both learned how to build, I don't know, make blocks better or whatever the fuck they do.
Mm-hmm. What if this youngest goes off and finds one of the elves? I don't know. I almost want to do like a sport thing, you know, right? Like some doofy...
Sure, one of the elves is in the NFL.
No, I was going to say like some doofy Christmas themed like tree decorating or like speed reindeer like production for the sleigh or whatever.
Jousting.
There we go.
They use candy canes and they fucking spear each other.
They have to lick them until they're like the point like we used to do as kids.
I think it has to somehow connect with so we can either change his disability or we can connect it to him only having 4 toes, because it's gotta go in with him only having 4 toes.
What's a sport that would benefit you having less toes though?
Like,
wrestling.
Wipeout?
Okay. No, here we go. Wrestling. And like the pivotal like the scene where the kid like gains all of his confidence is when his opponent goes to like grab his foot to like put him in like some sort of bar, but he misses because he's expecting to grab the toe that's missing.
Yeah.
Whoa. Through the power of having 4 toes, little Aiden Braden won the big North Pole wrestling match, and he gains his confidence. And then that'll happen later in the movie.
Right.
We're just building this right now. Mm-hmm. Haley Bailey is the oldest, and Haley Bailey is going through puberty, so like Haley Bailey's like mad at like, this sucks. Like, I hate being with the elves in the North Pole. Like, I want to go home and be on MySpace. Like, this
be
sucks.
With my kind. She's like really pushing a line.
Okay, yeah. Like, she's like, I don't want to hang out with you anymore, and
I don't want to hang out with you people anymore.
Yeah. She does say you people, and it sounds really bad
to.
when she says it. Like she's got
she puts a
in it.
little too much stank on it.
What are you doing with them, little Aiden Braden?
Yeah.
Them.
We're not like them. Get back with me. Come here.
Oh, it's so stinky.
And then mom can't get her medication in the North Pole, so like mom went into a coma. Mom went into a coma, and dad's a wreck. Dad just like is trying to find a way out. He left into the cold. He's like trying to find a way out. So we have our 3 little rascals all on their own. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Miguel finds a Buddhist elf, and they're trying to like turn all of like the elves into like vegans or some shit like that.
I love the insinuation that there's only one Buddhist elf out of all the elves in the North Pole.
All the other ones are proper Christians.
I really like that for some reason.
And they're like their whole goal is to like, this is like, how could they eat reindeers? Reindeers are the ones that guide Santa's sleigh. Like we need to change.
Oh, yeah.
we need to change and like so we have a nice like animal kind of plot with Miguel there, you know, like we're
that.
saving
I
the
love that.
animals
Yep,
in the
yep.
North Pole. And then that's how we bring in the jousting. Like the reindeer actually have a way better use than being eaten. It's for jousting. Like they love doing this. Like, and then boom. So we connect it with that plot where little Aiden Braden is like good at jousting because he's got 4 toes and the joust went through where his toes should be.
Yep.
And it's what kept him on the horse.
Yeah.
How are we bringing this home? How are we landing this plane? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, hey, before we get to the end, there is one thing that I want to remind you, and that is that you have to come up with a character who has a very Christmassy catchphrase.
Oh, fuck, there's a catchphrase.
i.e., hell yeah, jingle bell, or whatever the fuck I wrote down.
It's
I
got to
like
be
the-
it's got to be little Aiden Braden.
Well, either Aiden Braden or like a supplemental character, right? Like the Buddhist elf could have like a really good one-liner.
But it's got to be a Christmas catchphrase.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
What
it
is-
could be something along the lines of like Holly Jolly Namaste or some dumb shit like that.
Like
Studio note, no.
Yeah, I was just giving like a general direction. That wasn't the end goal.
what if our other like Buddhist elf is like fucking loves weed and is like peace and love this Christmas, peace and love this Christmas, bro. And he's just so annoying. He's just
Nah,
so
that
fucking
also
irritating.
sucks.
That is very annoying, but I do explicitly want it to be
Christmas.
much
Yep.
more on the nose.
See, I'm just having fun. Look, I'm just having fun. It's little Aiden
That's what
Braden.
hey, that's what a writer's room's about, baby.
Yeah, we're writing these on the whiteboard, scritching them out or whatever.
Little Aiden Braden has a fun little Christmas catchphrase, and that Christmas catchphrase is,
Jingle my balls.
jingle my balls. It's.
I'm
well,
gonna
okay.
stuff your stocking, bitch.
Says that before the jousting match. What if it was little Aiden Braden says, I got it. I have it. It's stupid. I hate it, but I also love it. Anytime anything good happens to little Aiden Braden, he says, and put that in your milk and cookies.
That's good.
Like that, actually. I like that.
Cookies. Yeah, every time he wins, and that's what he says at the end of his like big jousting. Like when he finally
Yep,
wins is
yep.
when we hear it again. It's like, put that in your milk and cookies, and then yeah, everyone's hoisting little Aiden Braden. They won Christmas, and then Santa flies in because whoa, the big jousting tournament was December 1st. Also, they needed to. Fuck it. They needed to raise money for the jousting tournament so that Santa would come back or some shit. Like they needed to raise money for Santa's to fly them back to their normal world.
Yeah, no, since it's all like fucky with the timeline because of the time space continuum rip, they were transported to the North Pole in March, but Santa was still on vacation until December.
Yeah.
So they are there from March to December.
Yeah, that's what I
and
said earlier.
Yeah, exactly. And at December, that's when Santa comes back for the conclusion of this movie.
Okay, I got it. We're going to land this proverbial plane here. Okay. So, the big jousting tournament happens because they need to like, we have to like work up so much magic to get Santa back and something to do with like there's enough magic to be able to like bring them home then or some shit like that, you know? Like there's a fucking magic meter that they have to fill.
A magicometer, if you will.
Exactly. And at the end of this Christmas jousting tournament, everyone from Malaysian Flight 370 is there in the audience and attending. And Santa flies in December 1st, and he's like, well, you've worked up the magic meter. We can finally go home. Ho, ho, ho. Okay. What's their last name, this family? Their last name is something,
Albertson? Christensen.
The Christensen family.
I'm just thinking of something that plays off of Haley Bailey. So it'd be like Haley Bailey Christensen or Aiden Braden Christensen.
It's Johnson's sons. It's
Johnson's
Johnson's
sons.
sons.
I
There's
like
two
that.
sons.
I like that.
Okay, Johnsonson family, let's go. And they're like, but wait, what about everyone else on Malaysian Flight
Oh, I
370?
thought you were gonna say mom because she's been in a coma this whole fucking
Mom woke up because of the power of Christmas and because little Aiden
Mom
Braden
passed in
jousted.
April. And they gave her a burial at sea.
The elves, you know, like how the Ewoks did like a big funeral at the end of,
Yeah.
they did the Ewok funeral for Mom.
They pushed her out on a Viking canoe into the ocean, and then they had someone shoot a flaming candy cane like a Viking.
And you're expecting, I know you're expecting in this moment like a nice like sad music thing, but it is just like Christmas crooners. It's the holiday season, and it's just like the fucking arrow flies, lights it on fire. So they're like, okay, Johnsonson family, let's go back to New York because they're from New York. Come on.
Yeah, duh.
And then, but what about everyone else from Malaysian Flight 370? And then everyone else is like, no, little Aiden Braden, we want you to go back home and have the best life you can and celebrate Christmas with Haley Bailey and Miguel and his parents, who are now your parents because your mom died earlier in the movie. And they're like, so that explains why we never found Malaysian Flight 370 or anyone that was on it. It's because only the Johnsonson family gets to go back to New York, and then Santa flies them there, and then at the end, they're like, well, I can't do it. This just doesn't feel good. We should go back. And then at the end, they're like, no, none of us go back. We're all a family together in the North Pole. And then they fly back, and little Aiden Braden like drops in, and he's like, what's his catchphrase? What's his catchphrase?
Put that in your milk and cookies.
They're like, little Aiden Braden, you're back. And he's like, well, put that in your milk and cookies. And then they all hug and they celebrate in the North Pole, and they all live there happily ever after together.
Beautiful. That I
that
love,
explains Malaysian Flight 370. That's why they're missing. They're in the North Pole.
Genuinely great. The one thing I still do have a question on is, did they make it back in time for Grandma's funeral?
No.
No.
Yeah. Perfect. No more studio notes. You have all of the money, baby.
Oh,
Ho, ho, oh no. Coming to theaters next Christmas. You're like, I want it this Christmas.
Yeah, I want it like yesterday, dude.
I want it right now, baby. That's the best Christmas movie ever. That's going to be our Elf. You know what I mean? That's, Tyler, right now, you're Jon Favreau in Swingers. But after you direct this movie, you're going to be Jon Favreau
in Chef. I get to make Chef after this.
And you get to make, you're going to have so much money from Elf and from Iron Man, I think.
Yeah.
That you're going to get to make Chef. You're going to get to make that passion project, which is that movie. You told me about that screenplay you were working on where you're like a rapper who nobody thinks has it, but like you eventually push your way through the ranks to become the best.
Yeah. Also, like, I get to freestyle, and then, like, I'm, like, the best one there is. And then I look at a group of impoverished children from a black community, and I say, see, this isn't so hard. And then I drop the mic, and then I walk off the stage, and I win.
Yeah. You amass a bunch of money that you're going to give to them, and you say, it's time to hip hop into the middle class. And then you give them, and then you make it rain a fuckload of money on them.
Fucking shut up.
Oh, Merry Christmas. Thank you both for partaking in a little bit of cheer and a little bit of fun with me. Beautiful job on that movie.
The studio executive didn't even, like, yell at me this time.
Yeah, the studio executive this time was pretty nice.
I'm filled with Christmas cheer, baby.
Also, the budget we're working with is kind of like end of year tax write-off shit anyway, so he's pretty lenient.
This is 100% Catwoman. Yeah.
Where you just got to make something because we have too much money sitting in this pile over here, and it needs to go offshore. If you know what I'm saying.
Sealed in the Disney Vault, gang.
And you and else flopped in 2004, this podcast. So thank you so much for listening. Go ahead and leave a like, favorite, comment, and or review. Helps us get into curated lists, helps us beat that algorithm. And if you want to join the discourse, you can join our Discord. And you can find that information in the description of wherever you're listening to this episode.
You can also go to youtube.com/shapelessmedia to find every episode of this show, along with hundreds of other videos.
It's now the end of the episode, which means you get to say a baseless claim. You get to say whatever horrible thing you want, and it's on the record, but it doesn't matter because we don't have fact checkers on this show. And hey, the reason why poor families don't get good Christmas gifts is because they weren't that nice throughout the year.
Yeah. You're really brave for saying that in a public forum.
I'm brave for saying what we all know is true.
Yeah, it's real unfortunate.
Do you want the PS5? Well, your family should have been nicer. It's not because you're poor, it's because you're not that nice.
My favorite moment from Ted is when they put the stuffing back in and he pretends to be retarded.
I've never seen Ted. I can't have fun here.
Gotta catch that flick, homie. Get on over here. Let's watch it.
Hey, all I know is that if Ted and Mark Wahlberg were on that flight, it would have gone down a lot differently than it did. Malaysian Flight 370 wouldn't have ever gone missing.
Oh, Merry Christmas, everyone.